It's fantastic because it does help drastically reduce maintenance that is caused by algae. We've all had a big bad Hey guys, it's Will and Wade. We're out here. We want to talk to you guys about the IonGen system and string algae. So if you go into ponds, Pondless Waterfall, any sort of feature, you've had string algae. It's a pain, it's ugly, it's all of those things. It's definitely the most common type of algae we get calls about, and this is the #1 solution we have. It's the best solution we have, and that's, you know, it's the almost fastest long-term at both just getting rid of a bloom that you have and also preventing them in the future. So I'm going to walk you through the installation process, how it works, and what makes this or how to make sure you're getting the most use and most effective part of this device. So step 1 is obviously take it out of the box. Okay, so here we go. We've got this unboxed. This is kind of what comes with it. This part we don't use. We don't install it like that. I don't like to put holes in plumbing lines, things like that. The idea behind it is the probe sits in here and then water goes through there, blah, blah, blah. We don't do it like that. I'm going to show you an easier way to both install it and maintain it. That part right there. I hope we get to see it again. Okay. All right, so we have two pieces, two main components to this device. We have the actual panel itself and we have the probe. So the system itself is very simple to install. Everything is quick connects on it, and that part makes it easy. It comes with its own transformer, and again, quick connect. So here you go, you've got your panel, your copper probe goes into the panel, and that is the quick connect that I was talking about. So then this is your panel, and you're gonna mount that up off the ground. This one already has a fancy spot for it. We're gonna mount this on the post there and screw it into the supplied transformer. Okay, so here is your panel itself. So in order to change the setting of the IonGen, you can hold either the minus or the plus. Just hold it down until that number starts flashing. Now we're flashing. This number goes from 0 to 10, and you can set it at whatever you want. I like to run it on a 1 or a 2, or just not run it at all when I don't have an algae bloom. So this pond currently is starting to get one. So because the system already has some string algae specifically in the stream, we're gonna set this system at about a 6. It's not too bad yet. You can see I just set it at a 6, but we're still reading zeros. We obviously have power with this ionization light. That means that something is blocking the probe, or in this case, it's not in water. It's just sitting there. So we're gonna get this in water, and then I'll bring you back over here and show you what it's supposed to look like. So for this, the most important thing on installing this probe is that it, just like any water treatment, it needs to be in an area of your system that has super high circulation. Henceforth, why they supply you with that plumbing fitting, is obviously, you know, your plumbing line has a ton of circulation and water movement across it. So there's a couple ways you can do it. You can install it that way. We as a company prefer to use the probe holder that goes on your check valve, or in this application, I'm going to install it right down here in the water, kind of in the rockwork in front of that skimmer, because that's going to provide a great spot for it, but then also it's going to allow it to be easily maintained. So what happens is, as you just saw with that indicator light, that ionization light that was flashing, that was flashing because it's not in water or something was happening. So now we're gonna go back over here, and again, we had it set at 6 because of our bloom. Come back down here, and there we are. We're at a 6. So we've got it installed like that. This probe holder that I was talking about, if you wanted to use it like this, it goes on your check valve. You can't really see my check valves, but you literally just strap it, and as you can tell, this sits in there, so it's down there like this inside the skimmer. All right, so for maintenance of the IonGen system, it's really all about that probe. As long as your panel's off the ground and hopefully under a fake stump or rock, out of the sunlight, you really hardly ever have to maintain that. So with that probe maintenance, some of the signs of it needing maintained start with that light, whether it be flashing, or as that probe starts to deteriorate, because it is a consumable product, you're gonna notice that your panel's not holding at the number you want it to set at. What I mean by that is you might have a panel or a probe that is starting to dwindle or covered or corrode or anything like that, where you're gonna have it set at a 6, for example, but the number on your panel is only gonna go up to a 4, or literally any number than what it's set at. So 99% of the time is you just need to maintain the probe. So I'll show you how to do that next. So we have our panel set at 6, and once it goes down, you can see we're at a 4. So now we have it set at 10, and it's still set at 4. So this is what I was talking about when you either have something obstructing your probe, need to maintain the probe, or your probe's, you know, nearing its end of its life. So if we pull this probe, you can see that's what this one currently looks like. That's what it started as. So when you have a probe that goes like this green corrosion is normal. It is a copper probe. So what you can do is gently scrape this off, see if that helps, but you can tell, like, we don't have any leaves on it or anything, no sticks are blocking it, anything like that. So this probe is just old and getting, you know, you've gotten your life out of it and you can still use it. It's just harder when you have a big bloom happening and you want to be able to increase it. So that's exactly why I like to run it at a really low number when I do not have string algae, or shut it off. I don't want to use this for no reason. So your probe, it's very dependent on how much you're using it, what you're setting at, how long you're gonna forget to set it at 10, something like that, because I know that's my biggest thing. I set it at 10 and then forget about it. I'm like, oh, I haven't had string algae in a really long time. Oh, my IonGen's been set at 10 for 2 months. So, the less you use it, or the lower number that you have it set at, obviously it lasts longer. Normally we get at least a full season out of it. Most of customers can push it to a season or 2. So this pond has fish, it has plants. The IonGen is safe for both. You can test your water parameters for alkalinity, and you know, the more alkaline water, the IonGen is a little more effective on. So if you have a crazy high alkaline pond or something like that, you can potentially flirt with you know, too much copper. I've personally never experienced it in a decade I've worked with Chris, but it is very safe. That is why it is our #1 go-to product for string algae. All right, so pro tip on your IonGen, whether you're just getting it or you've had it forever, when you do get a bloom like this, the best thing to do to make that more effective, grab this guy, that green scrub brush, and manually remove as much as possible. So if I can get a bunch of it out, you know, string algae's hard, it's gonna be connected to your gravel, all that stuff, but any little bit helps. So if you can get it out, that's just less of it that your pond or your IonGen has to come back. And then the other thing I really love to do with my IonGen, so when I have this string algae bloom, I'm gonna get ready to scrub it. So one other thing I really love to do with this is my autodoser. So this feature has the autodoser and IonGen. As I'm scrubbing this and gonna turn up that IonGen, I'm definitely gonna switch over to a bag of clean. If you don't know what our autodoser is, check out that video on our YouTube channel and learn all about that bag of clean.